Welcome to the debate for Ward 3 in the city of Clinton. On behalf of the League of Women Voters, I welcome you to this debate. The League is a nonpartisan organization. We neither support nor oppose candidates or political parties. However, we do take positions on issues and we urge citizens to take part in their government. How important our local elections are. City services touch us every single day. The streets, the water, the fire and police protection, parks and recreation, and more. The primary election is April 6th. It will be a Republican primary for Clinton since there is already just one Democrat for each position on the ballot. Today we have Ward 3, which is the northeastern part of Clinton. The voters in Ward 3 will vote at Traceway Park, 200 Soccer Row. Ward lines are posted on the city's Facebook page. I would like now to introduce the candidates with us today. From left to right, we have William Barnett, and we have Gary Roseman, and Glenn Bailey is not participating, but will be on the ballot. Serving as our moderator today is longtime Clintonian and news director at iHeartRadio, Randy Bell. Thank you, Randy. Serving as our timekeeper is longtime Clintonian Daphne Myers. Our videographer is Mark Jones, Clinton's public relations manager. Thank you to the city for allowing us to use the Brighton Park Assembly Room. You will note that we are following COVID safety protocol, and we have very few people in the audience. For the debate format, we will give candidates 2 minutes each for their opening statements. They will answer several questions from Mr. Bell and give a closing statement. They will be allowed 1 minute if they wish to respond to the other candidates' responses. A drawing was held a few minutes ago for the order of speaking. And now, let us begin. Randy Bell, I am turning it over to you.
All right, thanks, Kay. And as you mentioned, we're adhering to COVID-19 protocol, but for the benefit of this debate, we're all going to take our masks off now so people can hear us a little more plainly. So let's begin with opening remarks. And as Kay mentioned, Mr. Barnett won the lottery draw to go first. So, Mr. Barnett, let's have your opening remarks up to 2 minutes.
Good morning, everyone. This is Bill Barnett. I'm the current Alderman in Clinton, Ward 3. And I want to thank all my constituents for the support they've given me as their Alderman for the past 12 years. At this time, I'd like to mention some of the accomplishments this administration has had during the last 4 years. Under public safety, we have had our police officers go from 40 police officers to 63, and also we're now the third most safe city in the state of Mississippi. Under fire protection, with the new station on Pine Haven, we have bought a new fire truck and we've got it fully manned, and our insurance rates have now gone down from 4 to 5, and this will decrease everyone's insurance policies. The infrastructure, we started this budget year with a paving budget of $400,000. We had a goal of raising it to $1,200,000, and we've reached that goal. We received $7,500,000 from MDOT, the state, and Hinds County for bridge and paving repairs. This has greatly improved our infrastructure. Our parks have all been upgraded, and we have built new ones. Kidstown Park, which was 25 years old, has been completely rebuilt. We have our new Bark Park, which is for the dogs, and it is a great park. Lions Club Park was built from the ground up, and I spent about 5 years working on this project personally, and so glad to have that one in. For those of you that don't know what an outstanding water and sewer facility we have and how good our peoples are, you need to look at what Jackson has been facing, and whenever you turn your water on and flush your commodes, you'll know we have a great water sewer system.
All right, thank you, Mr. Barnett. Now let's have an opening statement from Mr. Roseman.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Gary Roseman. I've been a resident of Clinton for 39 years. I have raised a family here. We've been associated with Traceway Park through all their activities. I am retired from Yellow Freight System, which is now YRC and ABF right now. For 36 years, I drove a truck for a living. Now I'm working on another retirement with the Clinton Public Schools. I drive a school bus, and that's very challenging, especially with the younger kids, but they're interesting every day, something new. But anyway, I go to Providence Presbyterian Church. I live off of Pine Haven, and I look forward to serving the people in Ward 3 in the coming years. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And we're going to get into a little more detail now on some of the things that we hope to accomplish on the Board of Aldermen. First question goes to Mr. Roseman, and it has to do with more specifics on your qualifications and experience that would make you the best person for this position. Also, we'd like to find out maybe what your vision is for the city of Clinton as we go forward.
Well, if you want to start with a vision, you know, I've been on this side, the north side of town for 27 years. You know, I first came to Clinton as a teenager. My first job was at Old Winn-Dixie. And you know, I got to looking around the other day, and that part of town basically hadn't changed in the last 50 years. To me, my vision was to upgrade that part of town to make it look as good as the center part of town, and even downtown, and to make it more pleasing to the eyes, especially when we have a lot of tournaments, baseball tournaments at the recreation. They're going to pass through there or through our schools. And another goal of mine is, you know, to get Arrow Drive paved. It's terrible, you know. They said they were going to pave that road when the football field and the school was built, but I haven't seen it yet. Maybe they don't have the funds, but maybe it's in the plans. I hope it is. But it's not good. But my qualifications, they're not like Bill's. But you know what? I'm willing to learn. I'm a hard worker. I get my hands dirty, and I'm going to meet the people and see what they want to do, and be honest with them and be polite. And that's all you can do. And don't tell them anything that we can't give them. So they'll have a good quality of life here in Clinton, and they can be able to afford the things that we proposed in Clinton. That's what I'd like to see.
All right, same question, Mr. Barnett. You're the incumbent in this race. Talk to me a little bit about what you bring to the table and also your vision.
Okay, one thing I bring to the table, Bonnie and I have been residents of Ward 3 and Clinton Park North for 52 years. We've been very active in our homeowner association, and we've been able to maintain that subdivision with the help of the city's ordinances on the rental property and this type of thing. So I'm very pleased with our subdivision. We've got new, younger couples and families moving into our neighborhood, and it is booming. We are feeling good about our city and that area. And also, going north on Pine Haven, that is where the growth is in Clinton. I, like Gary, drove a bus for 12 years out Pine Haven. I've driven through every one of those subdivisions for 12 years, and it is going great out there. I think everything is looking good out there. Regarding Arrow Drive, we already have the money to pave Arrow Drive. The reason it hadn't been paved now is because you don't build or pave a road when the school has got heavy trucks going over it every day tearing it up. So Arrow Drive will be paved this year. We've got the money to do it. It'll be paved this year. But I'm excited about what's going on in Clinton, and I look forward to being your alderman for the next 4 years.
All right, either candidate have a response to comments made by the other, a rebuttal, or we'll move on?
Well, I drive to all these subdivisions every day too, and Bill's right about his community. But one thing I see needs to be done in his community, and there's a lot more communities, is the trees are overtaking the power lines in the street. I know that's responsibility of energy, but the city needs to work with them because it looks terrible on those streets. You can't even get a bus down there without going to one side or the other. It's just really a hazard. And as far as Pine Haven, you know, we're building all these subdivisions out there. No, it's great. It's great. But you know what? Pine Haven is crowded You cannot hardly get out there in the morning. It needs to be in the plans of the works, be a 3-lane with a turning aisle or a 4-lane. It really needs it bad. We always have the cart before the horse, in my opinion.
Mr. Barnett, anything further?
Regarding the tree limbs over the trees, the city right now, we're in the process of drafting up an ordinance as to what can be cut, what can't be cut, and how it's looked at by a professional tree cutter. As far as widening Pine Haven and that kind of work, the MDOT will have to do that. The city does not have the money to do that. That'd be something, as the traffic gets to the point that it has to be done, the MDOT will be the one that makes the assessment and make a decision on when that's done and if they have the money to do it.
Thank you. Let's move on to an issue that's near and dear to all of us. So we like to think of Clinton as a safe city. So let's talk a little bit about public safety. From police to the courts, the city, of course, has to do everything it can to prevent criminal activity and then prosecute those who cause harm. The question now is for Mr. Barnett, as the incumbent, what have you done while in office, and what do you plan to do to improve public safety, if you would be as specific as you can?
Well, the first thing we did was increase the police officers and their equipment. We have hired a full-time city judge, and he is supervising the city courts. So that has worked very smooth. They work very closely with our court people. The judge handles everything, and they are working very closely. It is streamlined the way our court system works.
All right, Mr. Roseman, in regards to public safety, what changes, what plans would you make?
Well, I like a lot of things the city has done. I really like when you're out of town, the police will come over there and walk around your house. I think that's wonderful and great. We need to keep that up. But first of all, we need to let them know how much we support our police. If you don't have good police protection, you don't have a community. You don't have anything. They, the one that sets the standard for the community. That's what makes people want to come in here and develop, bring you businesses, police protection. We've got a good police department, and I'm proud of them. And I just think, we need to tell them how much we appreciate them every day, and always provide adequate funding. It's nothing that they need we shouldn't get that's affordable.
Mr. Barnett, any follow-up?
Yes, I'd like to say this. Mike Cashin, who's one of my fellow aldermen, just started a drive and collected money from citizens in Clinton, including me, in my ward, for appreciation for the policemen, the first responders, and to our water and sewer people. He just gave everybody a $20, I think $250 gift certificates to let them know how much we as citizens appreciate what they do.
Mr. Roseman, any final comment?
Well, I do, in that end, I think that's great. And I do think a lot of the restaurants offer free meals to them, and I think that's wonderful, because you know what? They got to show their presence, and I'm grateful for them. I want to tell you, we need them. We need them bad.
All right, let's talk economic development. The ability to focus resources and energies on economic development needs to be a priority. Certainly, I think everyone would agree for every elected official. And this question goes first to Mr. Roseman. As a challenger for the Board of Aldermen, what plans do you have to improve our ability to retain and recruit all kinds of commercial, industrial, and retail businesses?
Well, first of all, Clinton is sitting right in the middle of Mississippi. We've got excellent infrastructure. I think it's already in place. Highway 80 is there. We've got airports that are close. I was in the trucking business for 36 years. You can pick up a piece of freight here in Clinton. You can have it in Dallas in 8 hours. You can have it in Atlanta 6.5, Birmingham 4 hours, New Orleans 3.5, Memphis the same. Excellent. We got excellent freight lines to take care of our business. We need good infrastructure, and public safety always plays into infrastructure too. Economic development. They're not going to come here if we don't have good police protection. And I always be committed to water systems, make sure they're good. And like Bill said, we don't need to be in a situation like Jackson. And we have plenty of room out here to build in the industrial park. We've got existing buildings. that can be occupied. We just need to attract more people. And when we attract more people, it increases our economic base, and economic base predicts economic growth for our city.
Ms. Barnett, as a current member of the Board of Aldermen, talk about what you've done during your time on the board to try to attract these new businesses.
First thing we did was hire a full-time economic development officer, and he's doing a fantastic job for us. He has the time to do it, he has the ability and the contacts to take that. I wish I had the numbers of how many businesses and how many people he's already attracted to our center out in our center where all the economic development is out there in the parks. But he has done a great job. We've had a Sunday barbecue. We broke ground on theirs the other day. Of course, this has been a bad time for restaurants, but our economic developer is doing a great job for us and will continue to do a great job for us.
Ms. Royal, anything you'd like to
My
add?
question to that is, why did it take so long to hire one? You know, Clinton to me hadn't changed that much in the last 30 years. We got the Parkway. That's wonderful. That's the best thing that ever happened to Clinton. But why wait this late in the game to hire an economic developer? I think it's great. Don't get me wrong. I think it's great. But where have they been? Where have they been? We need it now.
Response?
I'm not sure what he's asking. We have been working on economic development ever since we've been on the board, and we finally got an economic development full time. A lot of that has to do with the funding that you have to be able to hire people to do certain things. So I think we've made a great deal of progress in the last few years on economic development.
All right, gentlemen, we obviously engaged in government transparency as we sit here today, making this debate available to the voters live and also on a tape delay that they can watch later if they're not with us right now. But in terms of transparency of government at all levels, and we'll start with you, Mr. Barnett. Do you agree that voters have a right to know everything their elected leaders are doing, and what have you done as a member of the board to try to enhance communication and transparency here in the city?
First thing we did was hire a communications director, Mark Jones. And Mark Jones puts out everything that's going on in the city. I think the mayor has his website information he puts on. I don't think there's anything that we do that the public doesn't have an opportunity to see. I think we have been more than transparent, much more than we ever were before.
Ms. Roseman, anything you can think of that we could do better?
Well, I think it's a good start. I have heard some of my constituents that, you know, when the water rates were raised, they didn't know anything about it, you know. I said, well, to me, government is transparency. You know, you've got to be honest with the people. You've got to be upfront with them. Don't hide anything from them. That's where you get in trouble. But yeah, I've heard that. And hopefully, when I get in there, I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to take care of make sure our constituents know what's going on, and especially in my ward.
You want to respond to that water rate question?
I don't think we hide anything with the water rates. It's public information what our water rates are. And there's nothing hid there that I'm aware of.
Anything further, Mr. Roseman?
Well, that's just what they're telling me, you know. You know, Energy, for example, they have to broadcast when they're going to have water rates, and I think that should be equal here in the city of Clinton, whatever they do.
All right, gentlemen, we're talking certainly Ward 3 in the northeastern part of the city, and we're going to ask a specific Ward 3 questions, rather generic question, but still get to the heart of the matter in this area of the city that we're talking about. And we'll start with Mr. Roseman. If you are elected as the representative of this ward to the Board of Aldermen, what do you see as the most pressing issue in your ward, in Ward 3?
Well, I've already spoke about the need of Pine Haven, and we're getting more accessibility, you know, for more accessibility to our neighborhoods. Well, you know, I was out Traceway Saturday, just for an example. My grandson was there playing ball, you know, and I've gone to a lot of parks. What we need out there, we've got it upgraded, but we need turf on that infield. It never gets rained out. Even McGee has turf. You know what I'm saying? We just need to upgrade our facility out there. Not to say it's okay, but we need to upgrade it beyond what it is today. And check the bathroom facilities. People were complaining to me that they didn't work. You know, that way you do away with the groundskeeper and everything during those games. That would save money there. And I just think that's needed because we have so many children out here and so many children come out here. But like I say, and I would like to see too, for Ward 3, I'd like to see another grocery store about the size of Kroger somewhere. You know, Kroger is full all the time. We need that accessibility on this side of town. We really don't have anything over here to speak of. That's my vision. I just like to see that.
Ms. Barnett, you've represented Ward 3 for a number of years now, and you hear from your constituents what they consider to be the most pressing issues in the ward. What do they tell you about?
One of the issues is working with the realtor, with the builders, to speed up the building of homes out Pine Haven. That is where our growth is. We have rezoned that area and some places, and we have two builders that have got a lot of property out there, and they're ready to start building. For some reason, they're going very slow without doing that. We need more houses built in Clinton to accommodate the people that want to move over here.
Follow up, Mr. Roseman?
Well, thinking about that too, we want to make sure, and I'm all for people having a place, affordable place to live. We need to make sure that they don't affect the property rights out there to the extent where it just brings other property rights. Let's have a medium type of house. It's affordable, yes, but don't get it so affordable that it affects, you know, neighborhoods that are, you know, a little bit pricier. It's got to be a mix there. You know, you want to make everybody as happy as possible as you can.
All right, our final question is dealing with something Mr. Roseman just mentioned a moment ago, and that's Parks and Recreation. Let me ask, first of all, Mr. Barnett, as we talk about quality of life issues and Parks and Recreations, what have you done on the board to address the most pressing Parks and Recreation issues? What needs to be done, and if you could be specific?
Here's what we've done with Parks and Recreation. As I mentioned, the new parks we built, and one thing I did personally on the Lions Club Park, I'm a Lions Club member, have been for 25 years. I read an article in the Lions Club magazine at the time, about 5 years ago, when we were getting ready to have to shut down Lions Club Park in the whole area. I took that article to the mayor. The article was from a city in Texas that partnered with the city to build a new park using Lions Club International's $100,000 grant. Me and my fellow Lion, I went and showed the mayor that letter, that article. He says, make it happen. Well, it's not easy to make it happen, but we made it happen. We managed to get the $100,000 grant from Lions Club International, some matching grant. In 2 months, we had another $150,000 to match it. And the citizens of Clinton kicked in and put in the money that we needed. And we now have a premier park that is handicap accessible to everyone in this area. And that's one thing that I've done. Our other parks are doing great.
Mr. Roseman, other than you'd already spoken to the need for turf out at Traceway, some other ideas on Parks and Recreation, some improvements you'd like to see?
We need more parking out there, especially in the baseball fields, softball fields. You know, and we sponsor that, I think it's Division II softball tournament for girls out there, and that's great. That's great. You know, we could sponsor World Series for these younger boys too. Look at the revenue that would bring in the city of Clinton. We've got the hotels. You know, what a boom that would be just for a weekend, and the money that people are going to spend out here. You know, it's just, we need to just be modernized, I think, to a greater extent. You know, kids, you're going to always have kids. We got to have places for them to participate. And you got kids, you got parents. And they got parents, they're going to eat. Everybody's going to eat. So what a boom for Clinton is around your kids.
Mr. Barnett, you talked about accomplishments. What else do we need to do at Parks and Recreation?
I think we're doing everything we possibly can right now, because funds are a big factor, and when you start expanded things in the park, but I haven't personally seen a major problem with parking out there. I know when we had the junior college softball national championships coming into Clinton, I was out there every day with those things, and I really have not seen a major parking problem out there. We've upgraded the ball fields and continue to do so. As money comes available, we upgrade everything we can out there. I realize we need to build a new concession stand, but there again, it has to do with money. You've got to have budgetary money to be able to do that. That's one of the things we've had to delay. That was probably the next thing we'll do as far as the park.
Our follow-up, Mr. Roseman.
Well, I hope they do put the turf out there, because I think it's an asset. If McGee, Mississippi now, that's way down in the country. If they can have it, we can have it. I'm going to tell you, anything to do with kids in schools, parents will step up. They'll step up and put the money there, I guarantee you.
All right, we appreciate those responses to the questions that were developed by the League of Women Voters, and we move on now to our closing remarks. You'll have 2 minutes maximum to speak, and since Mr. Barnett got the first opening statement, we'll go to Mr. Roseman to be first with his closing remarks.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to be here from the League of Women Voters. What an opportunity that is to get my face known. I'm not well known as Bill, but you know, I've been here a long time. I know a lot of people too. But he's got an advantage over me, but you know what? You can learn, and I'm willing to learn. I'm a worker. And this is my community. I wrote this down. I'm going to read it. I have a vested interest in this community. The decisions that will be made here, and I'm going to decide on a course of action that will ultimately, I'm not going to do anything that will be detrimental to my city. I love this city. Also following the leadership of our mayor and sound economic development people, you know, we're going to bring good, solid foundations to our community to follow. To me, a good leader, in this case, as an alderman, does not contain the vowel I. It's not about me. It's about my constituents. It's about the other people on the board, to work with them and the mayor. You've got to have it. You can't go in there alone and do it. And discuss everything that's involved. But last but not least, you be honest with the people. They expect honesty. If you can't get it done, you be honest and tell them we're going to work. We're going to take it back to the council. We're going to talk about it, discuss it, and decisions will be made. And I will get back with you. I guarantee you that. Don't leave the people hanging. Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, Bill. And like you said to me one time, well, I'll see you down the road.
All right, thank you, Mr. Roseman. Final comments now from Mr. Barnett.
I'd like for everybody, next week when the Courier comes out, I put my complete resume in the Courier next week. Bonnie and I have been residents of Clinton for 50-something years in the same neighborhood, and I think we understand that I've got my resume of what all we have done as citizens for the city of Clinton, the clubs I belong to, the things I've done for the city for the last 50-something years. So I think they'll need to read that and have a little bit better understanding of who Bill Barnett is. And also, I'd like to say this. The reason I ran for Alderman 12 years ago was the current Alderman I had at the time would not return my phone calls. So I said then, if he won't return my phone calls, and I supported him, that we needed to have a change, and we got a change. What I told the citizens at that point in time, if you've got a problem, call me or email me. I will come see you and we'll talk about it. If we can't fix the problem, I'll tell you why we can't fix the problem. But you will get an answer from me, and I will let you know, and I'll let the mayor know, and whoever the department head is know that this is what problem we've got. If it can be solved, we'll solve it. If not, it won't be. So I promise the citizens of Ward 3 that I will continue that. If I get a phone call or email, I go check on it. Now let's give a word to my wife over here. She was a school secretary at East Side for 25 years. If somebody calls me, she'll say, have you called them back yet? And if I haven't, I'll assure you, I'm hounded till I call them back. I do not miss a phone call. So that is my promise to the citizens of Clinton. I will continue to follow up on any problem that you have. I may not solve it, but I'll look into it and talk to you about it.
All right, thanks to Mr. Barnett and to Mr. Roseman for joining us. And mind folks, this is only the first in a series of debates for the Republican primary for Board of Alderman in the city of Clinton, and we'll be coming back before you with some more candidates here shortly. Kay now has some closing remarks.
Thank you, candidates. We appreciate you being here and sharing with your constituents. For everyone in Clinton, we will have, on Tuesday, we will have Alderman at Large and Ward 2, and on Thursday, we'll have Ward 5 and Ward 4. So be watching on the city's website, and then Mark Jones will be posting it also on the city's Facebook page. Remember to get to know your candidate and go vote on April 6th. Thank you, everyone.